Hello and welcome to another episode of Inside the Inferno, a special Friday the 13th edition. Alongside Jack Bartlett, I'm Ari Wall. Great to be joined at the desk by you once again.
Yeah, Ari, great to be back, and probably our most loaded show, the busiest show of the year. And as you mentioned, Friday the 13th, we have some spooky good teams to talk about today. Last Saturday, Coach Prime and the Colorado Buffaloes visited Mountain America Stadium to take on ASU. The game came down to the final few minutes, and our Lauren Evanetti recaps the action.
The Valley was activated on Saturday afternoon as Arizona State hosted the Colorado Buffaloes, led by Coach Prime, to a sold-out Mountain America Stadium. Despite an impressive performance by quarterback Trenton Bourguet with a touchdown on their opening drive and a 15-yard touchdown pass to Troy O'Meary to tie the score up in the final minute of the game, the Sun Devils could not keep up with Primetime's squad and ended up falling 27-24 to a game-winning field goal with 12 seconds left.
You know, and being the quarterback, I take a great responsibility and not putting up the amount of points that we needed to win this game. But yeah, it stinks to tie it up, and then obviously, they executed on a deep ball that next drive to win the game. Offensively, we got to do a better job just putting up points.
Arizona State's defense played the largest role in keeping the score close, racking up 9 tackles for 56 yards lost. This is the first time that ASU has had a 1-5 start since 1942, but the Sun Devils stay optimistic.
We're playing winning football, but we're not winning, which means we're very, very close, and you don't know when it's going to click. You don't know. But when it clicks, we're ready for it because we're playing significantly better football than we did at the start of the year.
Kenny Dillingham is not the only head coach who believes in the future of the program.
Earlier this week, Colorado head coach Deion Sanders expressed the faith that he has in this Arizona State football team under Kenny Dillingham. He said, like us, they're building something that's going to be tremendous. You just got to keep watching the story and see how it unfolds.
The Sun Devils will look to bounce back and get healthy in this bye week before facing one of the top teams in the Pac-12, the Washington Huskies.
I think the last team that beat Washington was us, and they're one of the top teams in the nation. So just to know that we're right there, against Colorado, against, Cal, but, we just got to make a couple of plays here and there.
In Tempe, for Inferno Intel, this is Lauren Evanetti.
Thanks, Lauren. Digging deeper into the game, ASU quarterback Trenton Bourguet put together his best performance of the 2023 season. Our reporter Adam Cunin gives us an in-depth look.
Thanks, Ari. In this edition of Trent's Percent, we'll take a look at Bourguet's performance this past weekend. He had 335 passing yards, 2 total touchdowns, 1 on the ground and 1 through the air, and most importantly, 0 turnovers. He had a costly one against Cal, and this week he plays a cleaner game. All right, now let's dive into the tape. He got out to a hot start, leading the Sun Devils on a 66-yard touchdown drive on the opening possession. The key for Bourguet early was the short to intermediate throws across the middle of the field that allowed his playmakers to make plays in space. Like a boxer throwing jabs, Bourguet methodically moved the Sun Devils down the field through the short passing game and then punched it in for the score on a 2-yard run. However, 3 straight 3-and-outs allowed the Buffaloes to hang around despite them having an off day offensively. Colorado did a nice job of adjusting defensively by taking away Bourguet's first reads and making it difficult for him to complete these short intermediate throws in the middle of the field. This struggle continued throughout the game, but in the clutch, Bourguet was steady for the Sun Devils. The Sun Devils would be held scoreless in the second half until this last 4-minute drill from the Arizona State offense. Bourguet would convert multiple third downs and spread it out to a variety of ASU pass catchers to move the Devils down the field. And then with 55 seconds remaining in the game, Bourguet drops back to pass and delivers this dime of a throw to Troy O'Meary on his back shoulder. On this game-tying touchdown, the Buffaloes are almost daring Bourguet to make this throw by not playing 2 high safeties, and Bourguet makes them pay the price. Unfortunately for Bourguet, ASU would come up just short as Colorado knocks through a game-winning field goal to defeat the Sun Devils 27-24. So, with that being said, what is Bourguet's final grade on the day? How about an 83%, awarding him a B grade for his performance against the Buffaloes? Overall, a solid day for Bourguet, who came up big for the Sun Devils on a game-tying drive. The Sun Devils will need a heroic performance from their quarterback in 2 weeks, the next time they are out against the Washington Huskies. The Sun Devils have a bye to rest up and reset, so let's check in with Ben Yates as we look back at the season so far.
Hey, thanks, Adam. The Sun Devils are officially halfway through their season, as coming into the bye week with a 1-5 record in their first 6 games. Their first win of the season coming from the famous Haboob game that happened against Southern Utah, where they led 21-7 before the dust storm delayed the game for a couple of hours. But after that, they lost this Oklahoma State game right here, where offensive lineman Emmett Boley went down for the season to a leg injury. Then they get blown out at home to Fresno State. And then Caleb Williams and the Trojans come to town for the 4th straight home game in a row. And this is where ASU looked like a really competitive football team after the 2 disappointing losses before. Cam Scadaboo was electric in this game, but they still lost 42-28. The Sun Devils' first away game looked like a chance to get something on the board for them, but they fell just short to the Golden Bears 24-21. And then they come back to Mountain America Stadium to play the Buffaloes from Colorado. And like Adam just said a second ago, they lost by just a field goal in the final seconds of the game, and that's what's put them in this 1-5 hole. And now you may be wondering, when are the Sun Devils going to win again? That's a great question, because next 5 games here, all ranked opponents. Nothing's coming easy for them, as they also have this Arizona Wildcats game for the Territorial Cup back at Mountain America Stadium. But here's something interesting. Washington Huskies. Last year, they were ranked number 8 in the country when the Sun Devil fans may remember Emory Jones getting injured and Trenton Bourguet having a breakout debut as quarterback off the bench, beating the Huskies in a huge upset 45-38. Can Bourguet do it again? Or will the Sun Devils have to tackle one of these other ranked opponents to get just one more win for the season? For now, we'll just have to wait in anticipation during this off time. Guys?
Thanks for that, Ben. The Arizona Wildcats club hockey team visited Mullet Arena and ASU for an exhibition game. The student section was in full force, and the Sun Devils came away with a dominating 16-0 victory. Carly Koskovich has more.
Arizona State hockey is finally back, and with 14 new players, there's no better way to start off the season than the State 48 rivalry game against U of A. With the Sun Devils putting up 16 points on the Wildcats, it's safe to say that there was a little bit of motivation from this rivalry that came into play.
So, out of respect for that rivalry and out of respect for our university and our fans, we had an obligation. This was Arizona State's first game of the season and first game with 14 new players added to the roster. Everybody was fighting for a spot. I told the guys it was a tryout for who's going to be in the lineup next Friday, and that's why they went hard to the end. A little bit of an experiment was in the works on Friday night, which may have been an implication as to why the score ran up so high. Kyle Smolin was really good. He was just poised and drove the play really well. Heimovich played well when he came in. Gordon and Akili and Helm all played hard and were physical and really good on the forecheck. The addition of 9 freshmen and 5 transfers was what Coach Powers felt was necessary to propel this team to that next level. Not only were there new players, some of last year's key players returning from injuries will play a major role in the success of this team moving forward. The Sun Devils will face Merrimack on October 13th at Mullet Arena. For Inferno Intel, I'm Carly Koskovich.
Thanks, Carly. In a game that was seemingly decided at the end of the first period, it's safe to say there was truly no pity for the Kitty last Friday night. Enough with the jokes as we turn to Sun Devils soccer. Over on the pitch, the Sun Devils found themselves back in the win column at home against the Washington Schools. Our Mahir Sinhasan breaks down the Sun Devils' last 2 soccer matches.
Thanks, Ari. After a winless road trip to the Bay Area, the Soccer Sun Devils were back home and back in the win column after victories over the Washington Huskies and the Washington State Cougars last weekend. Arizona State beat the Huskies 2-1 off a 42-yard strike from sophomore midfielder and forward Anasia Colon in the 85th minute. The goal came 25 seconds after Washington equalized the match. Despite trailing against Washington State, the Sun Devils scored the last 5 goals to win 5-1 against Washington State. Graduate transfer Suzuka Yosei provided the winner with a penalty kick goal in the 54th minute. The Sun Devils will look to extend their 3-match unbeaten streak tonight at 7 o'clock when they face Oregon on the road. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Mahir. Another Sun Devil team that has been blowing out teams this season is the ASU women's volleyball team. They started off the season strong, to say the least. Ahead of its last 2 matches this last weekend, the Sun Devils boasted a 15-1 record. Inferno Intel reporter Paisley Poole shares more on the Sun Devils' success.
Sun Devil Volleyball is now ranked second in the Pac-12 after defeating the UCLA Bruins. With their 17-1 record, setter number 9, Shannon Shields, owes the team's success to their newfound chemistry.
Yeah, I just feel like the chemistry is like we're all there. You know, everyone's on the same page. We know what, as a team, what we want. Everyone's working towards that goal. And I don't know, like I was having a blast tonight. Like I was, you know, laughing and enjoying the play. And I feel like last season it was a little bit different with that. And I feel like everyone else is, I don't know, it's just enjoying and playing well. And obviously we're successful too, so that's a little different too.
For the first time since 2009, Sun Devil Volleyball swept UCLA in 3 sets. Senior opposite Marta Levinska led the day with 14 kills. Right after her, Roberta Rebello hit double-digit kills, earning 10. Another major factor to the Sun Devils' success was their serving and defense. Here's head coach JJ Van Dien.
I mean, we served much better this weekend than the Cal Stanford weekend, and I thought our passing was cleaned up.
The Sun Devils will be on the road next week to face Oregon State. From Inferno Intel, this is Paisley Poole.
Thanks for that, Paisley. A sweep of the LA schools for ASU is no small feat. Some big news as well this past week for ASU women's basketball. Ty Skinner will miss the 2023-24 season with a knee injury. Skinner was a bright spot for the Sun Devils last year in what was otherwise a tough last season. She was recognized as an all Pac-12 honorable mention and averaged 19.3 points per game, the most by a Sun Devil since the 1988-89 season. She finished second in the Pac-12 in points per game, third in minutes per game, and fifth in steals per game.
From basketball over to baseball, we're still a long way from the Sun Devil baseball team taking the diamond for the spring season, but fall ball is underway, and there's something different about this year's roster. As Willie Bloomquist enters his 3rd season at the helm of the program, it's the first time the roster is filled completely with guys his staff picked to be here. This fall, the team brings a group of 32 newcomers, a lot of which are freshmen. ASU skipper feel like this will breed competition at every spot in the lineup.
That's the good thing. As of right now, I feel like we got 13 or 14 strong, solid bats right now, to where there's going to be a fight at the bat rack a little bit, and we got some depth, which is nice. So there'll be some some guys that better not get too comfy with their jobs. So we have a lot of guys that can swing the bat this year, which I'm excited about. A couple freshmen that have come in and swung the bats well. So I'm anxious to see how they respond in game situations, which will be good. But we do have some veteran guys, and that's going to be the strength of our team is the veteran position players. And they're going to be expected to hold down the fort and do things the right way.
Fall ball is just around the corner, with the Sun Devils hosting a team scrimmage later this afternoon. With a quarter of the 28 pitchers being new to ASU, today is a good chance to get a feel for these new-look Devils. Last week as well, Bob Bowman, head coach of ASU Swim and Dive, was inducted into the International Swimming Hall of Fame. Here with more is Ryan Posesnik.
Thanks, Ari. In the world of swimming, ASU's head coach Bob Bowman had just about everything you can get from a career. Championships, Olympians, and records. And to add on to his illustrious resume, it was announced last week that Bowman was named part of the 2023 International Swimming Hall of Fame class. Bowman was recognized for his accomplishments at all levels, most notably at the Olympics. Bowman was the head coach for Team USA in the 2023 World Aquatics Championship, but has also coached the country in 5 Olympic Games, leading as the head coach in Rio. Joining Bowman is another notable name who has ties to the coach's career, 23-time Olympic gold medalist Michael Phelps. Phelps started working with Bowman when he was 11, and the two were an immediate success. Bowman worked along Phelps and was on the Team USA staff as his primary coach starting in the 2004 Olympics. Dozens of world championships and Olympic medals later, Bowman was hired by Arizona State as the head coach for their swim and dive program. In his 9 years in Tempe, the Sun Devils have become a national powerhouse in the pool. ASU won its first Pac-12 title and placed second in the national championship last season. Along with the team's success, Bowman might have his next great swimmer in junior Leon Marchand. The France native has an awards list that few can rival. He is a 5-time national champion, 10-time Pac-12 champion, 2-time Pac-12 swimmer of the year, and has not lost an event this year. Bowman and Marchand have led the Devils to a 2-0 record to start the season and take on UNLV at home at 2 o'clock today. Keep up with the team on Twitter at ASU Swim and Dive and check our website for more coverage throughout the year.
Well, we've reached the month of October, which means ASU men's basketball season is just around the corner. Fresh off an NCAA tournament appearance last year, Coach Bobby Hurley has high expectations for his squad, saying last week that his players know they have a chance to do something special in the season ahead.
I think they're hungry to want to do more, and this is the last season of the Pac-12, and we talked about that, and just what are we going to do this year? With this being the last year, how are we going to attack this season and make the most out of it? It's our last chance to win anything, in the Pac-12 for Arizona State basketball. I don't see, any banners, in our arena. So hopefully that's, I think that's how the guys have been thinking. They've been kind of filing that away in the back of their minds.
Well, that'll do it for this week's edition of Inside the Inferno. Be sure to follow Inferno Intel on social media at Inferno Intel and check out our website at infernointelmedia.com.
From Ari Wohl, the rest of our crew, I'm Jack Bartlett saying thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next week on Inside the Inferno.